Well, at least, yeah, probably this one too. Well, no, this one's a congestive failure. But these two also deal with left to right shunting, which we're going to talk about that next week. Would you say heart looks a little enlarged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put it about there. Yeah, this is probably about 60% cardiothoracic ratio. Most hearts on a cardiothoracic ratio are 35–40%. That's perfectly normal. Anything over 50 or right up at 50, right around 50 is where the ratio becomes not as good. Less than 50, significantly, perfectly normal. Up over 50, like this one, we don't even need to measure this one, the thing's so big. But this one's at 60%, that's cardiomegaly. Cardiomegaly can be the whole heart, as this one was, or it may be just an individual chamber. Would you agree this is prominent? Yeah. It's more rounded, it's more convex, and it's sticking out further, isn't it? And that's what chambers do when they enlarge. They become more rounded, they become more convex in the area where the chamber forms the border. That's why we do that little exercise. So that we know, all right, this is left heart border. What forms that? Well, right is right, front is right, left is left. It's got to be left stuff, remember? Because left is left. Back is left. Lefts are also both, always. Anything that's left is both chambers. So the left atrium's up here, but this is all left ventricle, isn't it? Very prominent. But here's what you have to remember. When the left ventricle enlarges by itself, it increases the convexity, like this did, but it pushes the apex down into the diaphragm. It pushes the apex further down. This is prominent, apex down. Right ventricle will also increase the convexity of the left heart border, but the right ventricle rolls the heart back a little bit and lifts the apex up and points it at the lateral chest wall. Left ventricle, apex down. Right ventricle is apex up, pointing at the chest wall. What happens if they both enlarge? Then they cancel. You get a prominent heart border, apex stays in its normal position. This is apex down, which is left ventricle classically. This was a congestive heart failure patient. Now, what view is this?
Oblique.
This is an oblique. And which one is it? Well, don't feel bad if you don't remember, because we haven't talked about oblique view since last quarter.
You don't see the arch of the aorta. So
What did
it
we
should
do
be-
to go from here to here? So here's the patient, right? That's the PA view. Okay. And the cassette is here, right? Tube's back there.
That's RAO.
So which way did we turn the patient relative to here? And your face is looking at this. Your face and the cassette are the same thing, right? So which way did we turn the patient? We're like this. Did we go this way?
No,
No.
the other way around.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
want the heart closer to the bucky.
Which way did the heart go?
Closer.
To the right. Yeah.
No, if you go this way, you would see the entire arch of the
Oh,
aorta.
no,
So you need to
that's
go
that
the other way around.
That way.
So on this view, you're saying the heart went that way.
Yeah.
No.
Heart's over here. Didn't go over here.
The right way. Other way.
PA. Heart sits on an angle like this and like this,
That way.
because it points forward on the lateral view and it points down to the left on the frontal view. Down here. So did we go this way?
Yes.
Yes.
That's an LAO. Or did we go this way? Now look what the heart does. Points this way. When you go RAO, the heart's on a 45-degree angle. When you go this way, the beam sees it straight up and down. It's not straight up and down, but the beam sees it straight up and down. The beam sees it this way. It's sitting this way. But the beam can't see this because the beam's coming straight through it this way. So this is an LAO. Now, look at which shoulders we're seeing and which lung we're seeing. There's a shoulder, there's a shoulder. Shoulder laterality does not change. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there's your shoulder laterality. If I do this, did the shoulder laterality change?
No.
This is always the left shoulder and this is always the right one.
Mm-hmm.
The lung is under that shoulder. It doesn't switch unless we go this. Unless we turn them all the way around past 90 degrees, and we don't do that. So, PA, LAO, RAO. That's just the swim position of the arms to get them out of the way. The shoulder laterality doesn't change. You see that? So this is still the right shoulder, which means this is the right lung we're seeing. And oblique views are contralateral. LAO right lung, RAO left lung. So which one is this? Heart's straight up and down, vertical. This is LAO. Now the LAO shows all four chambers. It's the only view that shows all four. Atria, ventricles. Atria, ventricles. It's the only one that shows all four, but the heart's sitting like this, not like this. The heart's sitting like this. It's teardrop shape. You see how there's a border coming like this? Then there's an angle right there. It jumps out and goes down like that. And you see how it overlaps the spine? At LAO 60, the left ventricle should just clear the spine. It should not overlap the spine at LAO 60, and it does. This is an LAO, and the aorta goes like this, because we get a lateral view of the aorta. Remember the aorta, right anterior to left posterior. It's an oblique view when we look at the aorta on a PA view. When we go LAO, we get a straight lateral aorta. When we do an RAO, we get a frontal aorta. Because a PA view is an oblique aorta. Whose is this?
Mine.
Yours, can I use it?
Sure.
Plug this into the heart. Boom. There we go. We now have an aorta. Okay. Ascending, transverse, knob, descending, left hand. It's a little bit squirrely, but it'll work. There's the PA view. You see how it's an oblique aorta?
Yeah,
RAO.
straight.
Ascending, transverse, descending. And we're actually looking straight down the transverse arch. Straight through it. LAO. Straight lateral aorta. PA is an oblique aorta. RAO is frontal. LAO is a lateral. See how it works? But oblique views are kind of a lost art in radiology for the chest, because we have other imaging that will work better. Ultrasound, chest CT. Rather than doing this, it's like, why waste the radiation? We're going to go to CT anyway, let's just go to it. Or if it's the heart, we're going to go to echocardiography anyway, so let's just go to it and forget about these. So they're really becoming, they're kind of like decubitus views. You know, they're good, but nobody does them anymore because we're going to go to CT anyway. So let's just bypass it and go right to the CT. And that's what happened. But it's a great example of how congestive heart failure, and this patient's on their way to venous hypertension, pulmonary edema, because it's the major cause today. But I don't really see much in vascular distribution, and I don't see any reticulation. There's no curly lines. There's no interstitial edema, which means all the compensation is happening so far with the left ventricle enlarging. Eventually it'll go back into the atrium and then into the lungs, and then the other things will start happening.